In this video, I will show you how to access and change the user settings within the Boardmaker Online Student Center. When you first log into the Student Center, you should notice a green bar at the top of your screen with the child's name in it. On the right upper corner of your screen, you'll see two white buttons. One is a refresh button, so if your teacher is assigned new activities and you touch that button, the new activities should appear. The button next to it is your settings button. To access the user settings, you'll click on the settings button, then click on user settings. A pop-up menu should come up, and you'll notice in this pop-up menu you have a few different tabs you can navigate between. The first one is your interface tab, and this allows you to make changes such as hiding the toolbar, so that green bar that we just saw and clicked on. If you have a student who likes to click on things and use it to exit, you may want to hide the toolbar or require a password for toolbar actions. In order to enable one of those features, you would just click on the box next to it, and if you see a black check mark, then you've enabled the Hide Toolbar panel, and that green toolbar will disappear when the student goes to do an activity. Your other options, you can have a Stop Activity button, so you can choose the location of where you'd like the stop button to be in a given activity. You can also choose whether you want it to show always or never. So again, if you have a student who likes to hit stop a lot and exit out of activities, you may want to hide it, or you may want to change the location to put it in an easier or more difficult place for your student to reach. You'll see additional settings down here as well. So there's some settings regarding the message window. Those would only apply if you're doing an activity that has a box that you can put text into. So typically our writing activities would use the message window. So it gives you the option to show symbols within that. You can change your cursor look, you can change spacing, and a few other options in there. And then the final option within this menu is the print options. So that's where you can change your print orientation to portrait or landscape and adjust your margins. If you make any mistakes while you're going through your user settings and you've enabled something or disabled something and you don't want that item changed, you can always go down to the bottom right hand corner of this user menu and click Reset to Default. So any changes that you've made within the settings menu will reset to the default settings within Boardmaker. I'm going to go back into this menu just to show you a couple more features that we can access. So the next tab that you'll see is Access Method. This tab is going to be really important if you have a student who uses switches or some other access method to use Boardmaker Online. In this menu, I can change my access method. So right now it's on Simple Touch, which works well if you have a mouse or touch screen. If you have a student using switches, you would click on this drop-down menu and you would want to go down to Scanning. You'll notice as well then you have some different options about scanning. So I can use an auto scan option. That typically works well if you have a student who uses a single switch. That option will scan through items on your page, or I can do two switch, which will offer one switch to scan and another switch to select. If you have questions about your individual students' scanning options or switch setup, it would be a great idea to contact your student's case manager or their assistive technology resource teacher for additional support. I'm going to reset these to default. And then the final menu I'm going to show you within user settings is the text-to-speech menu. This is where you can adjust the voices and speeds. So several of our interactive activities in Boardmaker Online do have text-to-speech output. So it will read choices to students, it will read text on the screen. If you need to switch your voice, there's a few different options within this program. You can also change your rate of speech and make it go faster or slower.
This is how the voice currently sounds.
And test the voice. You can also set up audio cues, so especially if you have students with visual impairments who may require some additional audio support, this is a setting you may want to turn on. And you can also adjust your highlighting, so you can change the settings to offer highlighting while it's reading an activity. So right now it's set up so that the word that it's reading is red. I can change that color. I can change it so it's highlighting a word and a sentence, or I can change it and turn that highlighting off as well. So those are a few of the settings you may want to adjust within your student's Boardmaker Online Student Center. Again, if you have questions, just contact your AT resource teacher or your child's case manager. Thank you.